Hello, happy Wednesday. Oh, I was all set to come on, and then the landscapers showed up, and their blowers are loud, and I was like, yeah, that's not a good time. So here we are, a little later than I wanted to be. Tomorrow I will be on much earlier because I have a early lunch appointment. So we will do that. I thought today what we would do is more of a, what I would call a classic look. So we're going to go really traditional-ish, so to speak, not weird colors or anything like that. We're going to go just real simple. So if you're hopping on, say hello. If you're catching the replay, say replay. If I can help you with anything, just comment the word Wednesday. Today is the last day to get a free Twisted mascara. And this mascara is what I would call a very everyday mascara. It is infused with biotin and it has 2 different wands, which is what makes this mascara amazing. This thicker wand with these tiny silicone bristles. Can you see how little those are? Really great at separating your lashes. And then if you hold the silver, you get this little bitty wand with even smaller bristles, which are great if you have smaller eyes, or I like using it on my underneath lashes. So until we came out with Quadra, which is my favorite mascara, tubing, all the things, this was my go-to. I love how it works on my lashes. I'll use it today to show you. But if you are needing a mascara refresh, buy 3 items on my storefront. You get this one in your cart for free. So great option if you're interested. All right, let's get moving. We're just gonna curl the lashes so they can settle down. You do know with mascara, you should be changing every 3 to 4 months. Mascara can actually keep bacteria in it because, you know, you have bacteria on your eyes and things. And when you put it back into the tube, it now transfers that to all the other mascara in the tube. And it can cause to eye infections and things like that. So you should never use your mascara too long for that one reason. 2, mascara dries out. You're pumping air back into it every time you put it in there. So depending on the mascara will depend on how that will feel, whether it becomes thick or that's what I had happen with my Quadra. It became thick and it looked thick on my eyes. And I was like, wait, what's going on? So I can't ever remember when I changed my mascara because, you know, when you're over 50 like me, you just get to a point where it's like, wasn't that yesterday? Beginning of which month was that? I don't know. So I keep a sticky note on my desk here with when I changed my mascara last, because again, I'm not going to remember. Just is what it is. All right, I am going to use not BB cream today. Shocker, shocker. I just, you know, we have times where we just need to branch out and do some other things. So we are going to use Prime Set Mist because I'm not going to use a primer, so to speak. So this will help be my primer. And then I am going to use powder foundation today. So I don't think I need to put my hair in its lovely little thing. I think it will stay out of my face. So we're just letting that dry. Got my lip mask going. So if you need a color match for foundation, you're going to comment the keyword of the day, and then we'll get to talking in Messenger, and I have a graphic to show you how to take a picture so that me and the team that I have that can help color match you can get you an accurate color. I know it's kind of scary to buy a foundation online when you can't like put it on your face yourself. Not that you really get to try and buy in the store either, typically. However, we also have a love it guarantee. So when you get it in, you have 14 days to say, ooh, no, not for me. And you just contact me and we exchange it out or we give you a refund. So simple as that. All right. So I used 2 different shades of the powder foundation. This is my shade, which I'm so pale. Isn't this pathetic? So this is what's going to be everything but my T-zone. Then I'm taking a much lighter shade, and this is going to be my T-zone. So it's going to mimic sort of a brightness up front, and kind of do what a concealer will do. But I don't need a heavy concealer. I think the older I get, the more I shy away from that. You know, fine lines, wrinkles, all the things I don't want to accentuate. So, and I don't feel like my under eyes are that horrid, right? And that's where a lot of people need concealer, is here. Whereas for me, I have, you know, all this junk working. Oh my gosh. Yesterday, story time. Yesterday, my husband was playing with some AI, whatever thing, because, you know, he's a techie. And he was like, oh my gosh, come here. And he finds this, I don't know how he got onto it, but anyway, he's like, I made this AI create this video from a picture, and the picture wasn't even a live picture to my knowledge. I don't know if this was a thing, but anyway, it's a picture from 2009, okay? It's a little ancient. And love him. Let's just start with that. Our anniversary is Sunday. We'll be married 29 years. You know. But he makes this comment. Oh, you had the cheek thing going on even back then. Well, yes, hello. I'm allergic to everything. And yes, I had the cheek thing going on all those years ago. Welcome to what I deal with on a daily basis. Just boys. They just don't get it. Anyway, it was frightening. I'm like, do you know how old I was in 2009? Do you know how old I am now? I said, don't make things out of that old of stuff. Frightening. But he is into trying and playing with all those type things. All right, so the lighter shade just in the middle. There we go. All better. Except for now I'm all one color. But that's what contour's for. I'm excited because I get to see some friends tomorrow for lunch. I haven't visited with them in a while. And right before our landscapers showed up, we got this like little bitty brief rain shower. I'm curious because typically if the ground is wet, their wheels on their, what do you call it? Lawnmower. Like, what is that word? Leave marks all over the sidewalk, you know, because they go across and, you know, it's just, it picks up dirt. I mean, they can't help it, right? I'm not blaming them. I'm not saying that. But I'm just like, oh, why couldn't they have come before it started, like, having a rain shower? I don't know. Just me. All right. So my classic blush is this Peony Pink, which is just a really light, kind of a timeless look, right? Not a bold look, not a purple look, not a whatever. We're just going to go for like what I would call timeless and classic. And that could mean something different for you than it does for me. So when I do a lighter color, I go ahead and just put it on. And then we're just going to blend it out. So if you're hopping on, you're going to say hello. If you're watching the replay, you're going to say replay. And if I can help you with anything, you're going to comment the word Wednesday. All right, I'm going to come in, and I don't do this very often, but for a timeless look, I'm going to come in with a highlighter. And I'm just going to right at kind of the bend above. So it's kind of like contour, blush, highlight. in that order. And I like going on the brow bone. Isn't that pretty? Just adds a little something. Gorgeous color. All right. Let's get the eyebrows working. So I've been talking to you about this new desk I was supposed to get last Friday. Then I was supposed to get it yesterday. So I ordered it off of Amazon because number one, it was a good deal and I don't need to spend a lot of money right here. So it's supposed to come last Friday. Then it said it was coming yesterday. Then yesterday it gives me it's being delivered via UPS, right? And it gives me a UPS tracking. So I go to the UPS tracking and UPS says, can't update you, we don't have the item yet. But Amazon yesterday said it was coming yesterday. So it never came yesterday. So I go back in today and I look and UPS still says, we don't have your item. So I go back into the Amazon part and it says your item's delayed, which, yes, seriously, that's why I'm on there. I know it's delayed. And they say it should come by tomorrow. And if it doesn't, you can come back for a refund or whatever. So I'm like, they've lost my product. That's all I can think. They've lost it. I just want a new desk. All right, I haven't been using my brow gel much lately, and I can tell a difference. So we are going back on this train. I mean, the extra step is what? How long for me to do this? And again, why I want the new desk is the organization. Because I'm on a table right now, so everything sits on top. Everything. And things are in little containers so I can kind of separate things, but still. It would be so nice to have things in drawers and then I can make a plan for the day. And then that's what's on my desk is here's the lineup of everything I'm going to use. See, I have a method to my thought pattern of my madness here. Just drives me crazy. All right. So I'm going to come in with palette 9. And the reason I like 9 is if we're going with this classic timeless look, I'm going to do a mauve eye. And it's all the colors that are all worn out. So this color with this little shimmer, and then this if I need to clean up anything. And this to me is a conduit for a pink lip, right? Because it's a very neutral, but has a slight pink mauve look to the eye. And that kind of ties the eye and the lip. And then I did a pink cheek as well. So we're kind of going with a classic sort of pinky look. We're going to do a really pretty lip. All right, so we are going to get in with my favorite. It's this middle shade. And it's a very gorgeous mauve, but not like a light pink, almost like a brown mauve, if that's a color. Because it has some deep undertones to it, but it definitely leans in the mauve direction. You see that? So I'm just going kind of on the lid. I'm going to put a shimmer right there. So outer corner and then sweeping into the crease. Yeah. All right, so hopping on, you're saying hello. Replay, you're saying replay. Wednesday, if I can answer any questions or help you with anything. I do have a goal this month that I have not reached yet. And the month is winding down. So if there's anything that's been catching your eye, let me know. And I will be happy to work with you to build you a cart. And And if you want the free Twisted mascara, we need to do that today. There, that shimmer shade right in the inner corner. And then, no. And we're going to clean up the outside. So I can clean up the outside because this lightest shade is like the color of my skin. Frightening. I know. I have seen some people, though, if you don't have that luxury, do their eyes first and then do their foundation next. My issue is I tend to take my foundation brush, close my eyes, and I do my eyes and my under eyes that way. So I'm not really sure how that would work for me. Part of it is because I'm so pale, I have a lot of blue and veins kind of showing in my eyelids. So I can't do it that direction. All right, so that is that palette. And to me, this is just a classic, simple look, right? Classic on the eyes, not too much, but just enough that's going to lend to a gorgeous pink lip. So I'm going to use the Twisted today to show you how I use the Twisted. So before we came out with Quadra, Twisted was my absolute #1 favorite. We have 3 mascaras. One's called 4D, Twisted, and then Quadra. 4D has like a really, really thick wand, and I don't care to use that on my eyes. For me, it just had too much product on it, and no matter how much I wiped the brush off, I just felt like it had too much product. Now, everybody's different. You may love it. Fluffiest brush ever. Here, I'll show you. You can make your own decision. Fluffiest brush ever. Just for comparison. You see how compact this looks? And this is the big wand. And this is how fluffy that one is. So I just felt like too much product distributed for me personally. But I also don't like a really heavy eye. So everyone's different. Some people love heavy mascara. You know, they love the mascara look. And there's nothing wrong with that. We each kind of have our own style, right? So 4D, Twisted, or if you've watched anything else in my story, I mean, Quadra is like my go-to, especially in the summer, because Quadra is a tubing mascara, so you don't look like a raccoon. Love that. Okay, so back to our application for today. So I always just get the end kind of whacked off. I do that with all my mascaras. And then I look down into a mirror so that I don't accidentally dot the top of my eyelids. And with this one, I wiggle back and forth. I do not do this with the Quadra because the Quadra's tubing. You want to go straight up so it tubes the lash, right? It's a tube around the lash. With this one, because it's more of a traditional mascara, I wiggle so that all of my lashes kind of get picked up. And this brush doesn't have multi-sides like the Quadra, so the only reason I would twist is for more product, if that makes sense. The only reason I would twist the wand is if I felt I needed a little more product. So with this one, I'm definitely going to do 2 coats because that's the first coat just to sort of pick everything up. So I'm going to do that on the other eye and let this one dry. And see how I'm just wiggling. And how do you put your mascara on? Do you do it like I do? Or do you blink? I've watched people do it where they blink to go down on the brush. Never been a blinker for that. All right. So again, we're going to do a double session on top. In the second pass, I'm just going to go on the outer edges, and I'm just going to go up and back, up and back. So I'm kind of coating both sides of the lashes for the length that I want. Again, with the Quadra, the tubing sort of builds that up for you, whereas this one isn't doing that. So I have to do it. And do you see the difference? Like I can see the lengthening happening. So on the edge, and I'm kind of just swiping back and forth. Not going down to the base, just the outside edge. And then I always have to be careful I don't dot my nose because sometimes that happens. All right, and then we're gonna hold the silver, hair in the mouth, hold the silver, unroll the black, and then you get this little wand, which is perfect for your bottom lashes. Also, a good use for this can be your very first pass to get all the little hairs working, you know, especially like on the inner corner and the stuff on the outer corner that never seems to sit properly, especially if you've been to the chiropractor this morning and your face has been smushed into the table. I love my chiropractor, don't get me wrong, but you do not go to the chiropractor with mascara on, or you will need to start over because your lashes will never be the same once they get squashed. Such a good mascara, right? Now, never gonna lie, my go-to is always gonna be Quadra, especially this summer. But when it's the free gift, who's gonna turn out a free mascara? Not me, not me. All right, I'm gonna wipe off some of my lip masks so that my lips go better. All right, we're gonna do a very classic pink lip. And I don't typically do really bright lips, you know. I like a bolder color, don't get me wrong, because I'm so pale that some really, really light pinks just do not go well for me. But this color, so pretty. It looks really bold here, but it doesn't go on that bold. And it almost leans with a little bit of a berry color to it. And I'm gonna, of course, take Mented. And I'm gonna just lighten it up. I think I ombre almost all of my lipsticks with Mented. And you see how that just changed how that looks? Pretty, right? All right, last thing, and I always do this especially over powder foundation, is Prime Set Mist. Started with it for my prime. This is gonna kind of lock it into place, so setting it. And always wait a heartbeat after you've done your mascara before you do that, or your mascara will be all over you, because I did that once and then I squeezed my eyes shut and that did not work out well for me. All right, that is gonna be my look for today. I love how it turned out. It is something I would have worn to work every day. I used to wear this eyeshadow combination day in, day out, right? It's just a simple, easy breezy. But let me do pinks, right? If I'd done a brown eye, I mean, if I'd done a neutral eye, I could do a pink lip. But if I'd really leaned into the dark brown, I don't feel like I could do a pink lip. Do you? I don't know. How do you match up your makeup? Let me know in the comments. All right, everyone that comments replay, if you've lasted this long, comment the word replay. Don't be a silent watcher. Everyone that comments replay at the end of the month is going into a drawing for a free product from me. So As many times as you comment is as many times as you're entered to win. Thanks for watching. Have a great Wednesday.